Okay, today we have I want to say 2002 SLK with an ME2.8, and we've read our DAS data, and now we're going to virginize it. Incorrect data length. Not really sure why that's doing that. We used to be able to, and now that has the K line and the can hooked up, but when we read this, it will read it, but it's not getting the service password, even though it's down there. I wonder if we take that service password and put it up there. I wonder if that'll help it out. Let's see. Okay, so we've taken our service password, we've put it up there. Let's see. I don't think this is going to work. Uh-oh, your renew password is not correct. Huh, I wonder what's going on. Okay, so we weren't able to virginize the ECU, or in Mercedes speak, ME, by hooking up and using Abrites. So I know a lot of people, they open these up and they're like, I can't find the chip, it's not there, blah blah blah, and it's welded on the back, you can't get that apart. Guess what, folks? They come apart just fine. And the chip that we're going after is this guy right here, this little 8-leg. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to read the data from the original and move it over to the new used. So I just figured I'd throw that in because I've had more people call me and say that I can't get it's welded. You know what? I'll pop this apart real quick and show you. Okay, now it's not welded, it's just glued. And trying to do this one-handed isn't easy, but it's possible. So, and you can see mainly what it's for is the heat dissipation. That's what they put that there for. At least that's what one guy said. I don't see anything that makes heat though there. Okay, so as I said, we're going after this guy right here, this little 8-leg. We're going to read the original, take this one off, write it to it, and call it good. Okay, I know I'm going off on my rant about not being able to virgin. But what I did want to show you, in case you do want to virginize, not just put data to something, if you open up the dump tool and you go in there and you go in here and you'll see a bunch of mileage, and we really don't care about the mileage. But if you notice right here, see how it says renew engine control module. There's a 2.7, that's a 12 cylinder. That ain't the one we want. So see this right here, the engine control unit, it's an ME2.8. This one right here, if you notice, it's an ST95P08. So that is the chip that we're going to go after. And if you got the EEPROM, you can back up through all the menus because, well, we got to ask you 10 times if you're wanting to do something. And I'm going to reach over here and do all kinds of neat stuff. And I'm going to grab my, this is ZNO45. This is actually EEPROM. You get other boards with it, but believe it or not, there's a bunch of stuff inside of this. So we hook it into our Abrites, and then we go to the chip looking thing, And then what we're going to do is, I always forget which one this is. I don't know. I think it's an SP. Yep. So we're going to go to SPI EEPROM. We go here. See down at the bottom, 95P08. That's what we're going to read. Now we can read it, save the file, and then we can go ahead and we can virginize it. And I'll show you that. It only changes like 2 bytes in the whole damn thing. But that's what we're going after, the ST95P08. So we're going to go get that out of the ECU and bring it over and put it. Okay, so this is the test board that you get with Abrites. So, and if you notice, there is 95, 25, 24C, 93C, and then the others. I actually made this so I could clip onto some of the chips. But when you're doing something and you want to make sure, I have this that I made so that I can solder the board onto it and then pop it in there and read it while it's soldered on. Because, you know, soldering is actually the best way to do it. Okay, so as I said, we're going after the 95P08, which is there. But before you do anything, I actually have a tablet that I take a picture before I do anything so I know which way it goes. Also, if you're thinking about using EEPROM, which you're not going to hear me put down EEPROM, but what I can tell you, it has problems with the 95 and the 93 chips. So, see how that says, you know, EST? And then if we go down here, it's actually the 95P08. You can actually do it, but I'll tell you right now, I don't put a lot of faith in this. And the reason I say that is because they've had nothing but problems with the 95C chips or whatever. So, just a heads up. Okay, so we've got our Abrites set up. We've soldered our chip onto the test board, which is looking pretty gnarly. Now we're going to read it. Woohoo! Looks like we got it the right way. If you don't have it the right way, you'll basically, if you have this spun around, you will get all F's. So we're going to verify it. Okay, so verify, what it does is it takes the data that's in the buffer and it compares it to what it reads from the chip. So it makes sure you got a good read. So we're going to save this, and I'm going to save this real quick and then I'll come back. Okay, so we've read our EEPROM and we've saved it. And once we're done with that, we close Abrites. We go back and we go to Mercedes. Go to Mercedes, tell it that yes, it's OBD. Now we go to special functions. Now we go to dump tool. We go to here. And then we're going to go down to renew. And we've got an ME2.8. So we're going to load the dump. And we're going to use the used bin. Okay, now look at the first 2 bytes, or first byte, D3. Now watch what happens when you go to parameters and you make virgin, yes, you click OK. It changes the first byte to FF. Now watch this again. I'm going to do it again. We open up the bin. Now look right there. See how it says FF? D3 is what it changes. And if you save the file and then write it back, it's now a virgin unit. it does kind of make me wonder. And if any of you are out there trying to get a cluster cable from British USA, one of the reasons that it's taking so long is because Abrites changed something in the program, and we're not able to do these anymore via the bench. So, I mean, we're having to tear everything apart and EEPROM and do all this crap. And if you think that this is quick, my God, it's not. So it's taken time away from, doing things like making cables and stuff like that. I guess they don't realize that. Okay, so you can see our keys, and this is our original. You can see our keys, our service, and when we go to read coding, it should give us our VIN number. Ooh, you know what? We don't have the K line hooked up. Let's hook up the K line. Okay, so we've hooked up our K line, and we're not going to save it because we already saved this once. Cancel. Okay, so, but you can see 7786. So now we're going to hook up our used that we've already flashed the chip and see what it says. Okay, so here we have our used, our originals right there. And now when we read the data, will it talk to it? Heck, who knows? It's getting late. I got other stuff to do. Okay, so there it is. And you can see the first key is 4AD6. If we look at this one, 4AD6. And if you notice, the service password is 04EF. So those are all the same. Let's read the coding and see if it comes up with the same VIN number. Who knows, it might not. Okay, well, I'm not going to save it because I really don't care. Okay, so 27786. 27786. Okay, so you guys have seen how we did this. Instead of read, virgin, read, save the data, read, virgin, personalize, boom, done. Nope, we tear it apart, we take the chip out of it, we read it, we either move it over or we virginize it. Just remember, it's only one freaking, see this right here, the D3, that turns into FF, and that's virgin. Why this changed, I don't know. Trust me, we start tickets and we try and get the people on the other side of the world in Bulgaria to fix this, and a lot of times what you get is it's a 20-year-old car. Why would you want to even work on it? Well, here in the US, a lot of people keep their cars a long time, especially little Mercedes sports cars. This is an SLK. It's a little two-door, hardtop convertible, and people love these. So hey, Abrites, if you or any of your engineers or developers, especially the Mercedes guys, are watching this, please go through your code. See if you can fix wherever you put an RMK. Come on now. It ain't that hard. Let's get it back to where it was before we try moving it forward. Oh well. Time to work on the next one. And just a last note on this. I'm a big fan of Abrites. I love their software and the way it works. This is something that kind of gets to me because if you've seen most of my videos, they have Abrites in there. And I really do like the software, and I love what they do. When Evo started the company years ago, they had the BMW E46 EWS module. It was awesome. And it still is to this day. Most of their software is totally awesome. The Volkswagen is better than anything out there in aftermarket world. But the Mercedes software and some of the others, the Commanders, a lot of other places are catching up. And, you know, I don't want to say Abrites is an afterthought, but it's going to be an also ran if you don't start fixing the stuff that got changed when, you know, you tried to upgrade stuff. Just my 2 cents worth. That and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks.